So I cover the IT operations business unit for half of Australia and have the pleasure of supporting New South Wales government in your journey to the cloud. So what we've seen in terms of cloud adoption, or public cloud adoption in particular, is that we're seeing 88% of organisations really going with a cloud first policy or approach. And New South Wales government is no different. In 2015, the New South Wales government came out with New South Wales Cloud Policy, which is all around migrating workloads to the cloud in order to speed up velocity. So one of the things that we did is we've looked at that policy and looked at the three main tenets, so agility, reliability, and scalability. And what we've looked at is making sure that we're aligning and standing right beside New South Wales government in their journey to the cloud, addressing these three important points. So what I wanted to do today is I'm going to introduce Carlo Perulin, who's our technical lead on New South Wales Gov. And what he's going to do is he's going to step through a bit of a presentation on how we can actually help New South Wales government to deliver on these three important things. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. My name's Carlo Perulin. As Alex mentioned, I'm the technical solution consultant for ServiceNow, specifically for the New South Wales government. So we didn't want to make this a slideshow like we've had today, but just to speak on some of the words that we've heard about from Martin and also Damon. It's about the customer. So your customers in regards to your agency customers, it's about your employees and how you can help make them agile, make them provide better service to your customers. Now what I'm going to show you is a live demonstration. So for those of you that are new to ServiceNow, what does ServiceNow provide you? And hopefully you can see that, much more you cannot, but at the very top there, it's a 360-degree view of my services. So it's a tailored view of all your business services that you might control, you might manage. Now, if you look at the other parts that are part of this, is all the projects that I might have as part of my business services. So all the projects that I have running, they could be enhancements, running the business, growing the business, it could be just operations. Over here, I've got the list of risks. So now it's a risk register. It's a risk register across everything across my business services. It could be reputational. It could be security risk. It could be confidential risk. All those types of risks. Don't want to forget the suppliers. We've got lots of suppliers here today. We all deal with lots of suppliers. We need to know who our contacts are. Who are our suppliers? Today we're focusing on cloud management. Hence we've got AWS, Microsoft here. So the idea here is that now you've got that 360 view of your projects. Now as a project owner, I want to actually log into a dashboard and see what's going on. Straight away, I'm drawn to the red, the critical, red and in regards to the RAG status of my projects, and it's in red. I want to identify why that's in red. So because I've got staff consistently updating their project tasks, here what we can see is that I've got a capacity issue with the test management environment. Now, what does that mean? I can't release software soon enough to my customers. I can't get value for money or real time to value because I can't get these services published and released to your customers, right? And what does that mean? You don't get the revenue. You don't get the services out to your customers. Now, I can address this, and what I've actually just picked up, and hopefully everyone's picked up, it's this digital workspace transformation. You know, some key lines here. Mobilise the person. So here I'm mobilising the project manager or the business owner. Mobilise the process. So we saw in the slide, if there's no governance around the process, what am I going to do? I'm going to get my credit card and then I'm going to order off AWS or Microsoft. And last but not least, mobilise interaction. What this really means is making it available for me so I can do this all myself. So from this dashboard, I can quickly click into what we have, a cloud services catalogue. Here what you can see is the availability that I have that I can request. So storage volume. So remember coming back to my issue of capacity, I can now request more storage. So here I can, for example, if it's AWS, click on block storage volume, and what I'm presented with is information in regards to what I need to provide to get this service orchestrated. The other thing to note, and you might not be able to see it, but quotas. You can set quotas for your teams. So you might have a HR department, a finance department, an IT department. How much space are they allowed to use? So I've got a group quota, but I've also got a user quota. So now knowing, giving that visibility to me in regards to how much storage I can actually request. Now from here, I can actually track each of these requests. So for example, I've actually already requested some block storage, and I can view these requests. So all these different types of requests that I have requested, so it could be AWS, Azure, or VMware. And if I do the AWS search, here I can see my storage volume and exactly find out where it is. So you can see here what it's given me is visibility in regards to this process being fulfilled. Now, it's not a manual process, it's an automated process. So in regards to applying a blueprint, deploying the stack, and the deployment being successful, what does that mean? I can now go back into my project and change the status of my project. Who does this benefit? This is going to benefit my CIO, who's going to come back to me at the end of the day and find out what's the status of your project. It's all green, boss. Got my test environment back up and running, cloud servers up and running. I haven't had to use my credit card. Followed protocol, so this governance has been applied. And obviously, from a security perspective, it's gone through a secure cloud platform. Now, this is from a business owner perspective. Now, think about it from a CIO perspective. You could potentially have a view of your entire cloud infrastructure. So think about from a CIO perspective, your monthly spend. Where are you spending in cloud environments? The quotas, like I said, used, all the different environments that you have up and running. Now, it's not just about what you have up and running, but what about the ones that you're not using? The ones that you're paying for and not using? That's where you can get cost controls. You can get some savings from stack health or the stacks that you aren't using. So part of this is now providing value back to you in regards to understanding what's in your cloud environment. So this helps in regards to this information, and we're feeding this from these cloud environments, so AWS and Azure, to give you these stats so you cross trends. Maybe we do have lines of business always requesting at the end of the month how much it's costing, and having the ability to filter this by provider, category, or even data center. I'm going to pass you back to Alex, who's just going to quickly summarize what we've gone through.
Thank you, Carlo. So when we looked at that New South Wales cloud policy and those three key tenets, what we've described to you here is how we're able to improve agility, leveraging automation and self-service. The second thing is we've looked at reliability. How do we provide a unified view from a service perspective or a CIO as to where we are in that life cycle? And also how available those services are. And thirdly, we've looked at ways that we can improve scalability. So we want you to drive more and more workloads through the cloud and deliver those efficiencies, but clearly we need to make sure that those costs don't spiral out of control. So hopefully what we've shown you in the last bit is really how we manage all the costs and quotas and so on, so that you can charge back the right things to the right departments. No worries, what I'll do is I'll hand over now to Ian Montero just to do a quick wrap up. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Hopefully that was pretty informative. One of the things I would like to say is that we've got a raft of government customers in New South Wales who are using us. And if you start to look broadly and globally where ServiceNow is actually being used, 52% of our customers are actually using us outside of IT. So where you may have been thinking ServiceNow is just an IT service management platform, we are actually a true enterprise service management platform. So customers are using us for customer service management, they're using us for security, they're using us in the IT operations management. As we started to talk about project and demand, and there's a lot of government customers here who are actually doing a lot in that space already. That's pretty much it for our session. So we've obviously got a big stand, we're right next to the WDC, they're obviously doing quite a bit with us. Come over, have a chat, talk to us about what else we can actually provide to you.